dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Orale. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a mother. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye-ya. Bye-ya. Orale, and you can tell by that thumbnail right there, something different today. Right here on Gunners Collective in a menudo style and a direct fashion, we're going to talk about the 5 top reasons California is the most gang-related state there is, Holmes. Gang activity at its finest. The gangs are rampant. Sasuke, barrio, spell barrio. I can. Bang, bang. It's everywhere, right? It's all around us. Why is it such a gang-related state? Why can't we walk down the street without getting shot? Sasuke, I'm going to tell you why. Right now, top 5 reasons. I'm going to bring it directly to you to the best of my ability and to the best of my knowledge. Sasuke, I'm going to give you a little bit of knowledge that I didn't even learn in college. Porque I didn't go to college. Bang. There it is there. See, you learn something new every day. Number 1. Okay, we're going to start with number 1. We're going to go backwards and whatever the case you may be. Number 1, old school barrios. Old school barrios. We have some of the oldest barrios in California. Okay? Barrios. Okay? Barrios. Old school, hundreds of years old. We got a barrio in LA, 100 years old. You know what I mean? 20s, 30s, 40s. Vatos have been gang related since then. Gangs didn't necessarily start off as a bad thing. They were more like clubs, groups of young men and individuals that got together for self-preservation and protection of one's own neighborhood. This is how it went down, vato. So I was scared. There was no norteños, there was no sureños, there was no Crips, there was no Bloods. What there was brown and black people, as well, sprinkle the whites in, you know what I mean? A whole lot of white people that formed these clubs that eventually, gradually became barrios and gangs. And that's just how it is now. See, everybody has their own pocket, their own calle, their own street. Wherever you live, that's your environment. You're a product of your environment. You become accustomed to the ways of that said street or that said fucking 4-block radius. And everyone usually sticks to their own. You know, in places like Los Angeles, San Francisco with the Mission District, another old school barrio, San Diego, you know, we're talking about Logan, National City, things of that nature. These cities, towns in state of California have had a very long, extensive history of barrios, okay? This is what goes into some of the being the most gang-related state, period, right? When you got that old mentality, that old stick to your own, you know, don't fraternize with everyone. This is what leads to different neighborhoods. See, you had these old original barrios, and then a lot of old school mentalities were caught up in that. You know, a lot of people were on that same wavelength. They were on the same note. So it's, you guys fucking stick over there, say? We're going to do ours over here. You know, and you had a lot of old school places. You know, I think Evergreens was an old barrio out of LA. White Fence, of course. You know, Canton 14th Street. I think, what was it, Dogtown? Or Dogpatch, excuse me, Dogtown, I believe was one of the older barrios. And then you had several barrios in the Valle that were old. Of course, we know Logan's one of the older barrios out of San Diego. Up north in California, you had barrios like Jingletown in Oakland. Fruit Stand Gang in Salinas. The Mission District, which is still the Mission District, right? In fucking San Fran, in San Jose, you have barrios that originated actually in LA and gravitated out to San Jose, like Barrio Horseshoe, Vicky's Town, you know what I mean? Palmas. You have a lot of, and Palmas is from San Jose. You know, don't get it twisted because I know they're going to yell at me in the comments. Old school barrio mentality, old school, you stay to yourself, we stay to ours, plays real big and real heavy into why California is such a gang-related state, why the gang activity is real. Okay, 2, it's one of the biggest states. It's the second biggest state in the United States, vato. When you have a congestion of a lot of people, when you have a more people, there's more ideas. When there's more ideas, there's more fucking crime. When there's more crime, there's more gangs, right? Crime and hate and envy and bullshit breeds gangs. And that's why you have a lot of gangs out there. You know, everyone's you know what I mean? They're marking their spot. They're planting their flag. They need their territory. Okay, this is why it's such a gang-related state. Being one of the biggest, what do you expect? You know what I mean? What do you expect? Of course, there's going to be a lot more gang members. Of course, there's going to be a lot more attitudes, of course, because there is so much people. We're overpopulated. You know, in the state of California, it doesn't seem like we are, but these are some of the bigger cities in the world. Los Angeles, San Francisco, Oakland, San Diego, you know what I mean? Sacramento, Fresno, you know what I mean? You got everybody that comes from a different city, that comes from a different mentality, that comes from a different playbook. So it's okay, you go there, post up, you have button hook, orderly, ready, set, hike, hook. You know what I mean? Vatos are ready to go. Everyone's playing that day. Everyone has that team mentality. They're about their own team. They're about their own. You know, and it started to become in the 70s and 80s just a little bit more gang related. These guys started to get a little bit more structured. They started to get a little bit more wiser. They started to play the game a little bit more different. Okay, they started to get militant. With the uprising of segregation and you had a lot of the black-white issues, the black-brown issues, the brown-white issues that were going on in the 60s. And you had a lot of people fighting for the causes. You had, you know, the Black Panther Party, the Brown Berets, of course, the Guardian Angels, let's say, you know what I mean? The Chicanismo movement. You know, everybody was pushing their own movement. This right here not only was having people come together, but also was making people divisive. This was division at its finest because all these different groups sprang up and everybody was about pushing their own agenda, their own people. At the same time, they weren't thinking about the bigger picture, which was unity. Everyone coming together. Spence, I say unity, I almost died, right? Real talk. Vatos don't want that shit on. Anyway, so this is what you have. But you have to understand, all this segregation and all this fucking people doing their own thing, man, only fed into the belly of the beast, which is the gang activity. You know, if you're like, nah, Charlie, Holmes, we're our own people. We're fucking doing it over here. That's gang-related activity. That's gang-related mentality. Okay, us above you. You not above us, it's us above you. Of course, in the 80s, that's when the North and South issues really started to take place. That's when Norteños and Sureños were formed. Late 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And that's when the world went crazy back in 1985. Orale, the crack epidemic, the drug epidemic, with overpopulation, with a lot of people, with the very big state. It's going to breed a lot more negative attitudes. It's going to breed a lot more crime. It's going to breed a lot more gang-related activity. And of course, with the explosion of Crips and Bloods in the 80s, and then Norteños and Sureños, you know you done fucked up, right? You know you done fucked up, right? I think Hollywood also being in California plays a big part into the gangs because they start to make gang-related movies like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, American Me, Blood In, Blood Out, things of that nature. And it starts to fuel the mentality and the mind state of the young kids. So it's, hey, I want to be like that guy. What, the one that's fucking squatting and coughing? No, the one that's, you said it. Don't spill it up with our lettuce. Stop it now. Cool it now. That's it. It's done, okay? So, number 3, okay? The number 3 reason California is such a gang-related state is because it's too diverse. It's very diverse. Now, I ain't against it. So don't get mad at me. I say, calm down, Holmes. I'm just a motherfucking voice in the wind for the people, by the people. But it's very diverse, meaning there's a little bit of fucking everybody. Being on the West Coast, so much feria, so much jobs, so much money is in the state of California. You have Google, Yahoo, orale, you have Facebook, you have fucking, is it Facebook? China, Facebook ain't over here. We got YouTube, you got all these different, Simi Valley, you got all these different big corporations and companies that deal with the internet. You have all these big cities. Everybody wants to come over here, homie. They wish they all could be California gang. Orale, Arby's, right? Everybody wants to see a California girl be one. You know what I mean? There's even vatos that want to be one. Spence on Latina, that's on them. But what I'm saying is in California, it's very diverse. There's enough to go around for everybody. Or is there? You know, the gangs don't feel that way. Everyone's fighting for their own steak. Everyone's fighting for their own fucking pinchy piece of that cherry pie, eh? Everybody wants to keep their shit intact. They don't want other vatos fucking in their hood, in their barrio. They don't want other people getting in their mix and stepping on their toes. Charlie Holmes, hey, that's my torta. Con pinche jamon y tal. See, get your mind out of the gutter. You thought I was talking about a fat bitch late night at the club. I was. Anyways, with that being said, That's not the reason why it's gang related, because tortas are everywhere. They're going to be in every barrio, any barrio, all barrios, 24/7. You can count on that. For the most part, being very diverse, the state of California leads to a lot of different mind states, okay? You got Asians. There was the Asian influx coming from, Southeast Asia. You got fucking Hmong and Mien and Vietnamese and Laos and Cambodian. The gente moved in, man. And of course, with them, they brought not negativity, homes. They brought self-preservation. They fought oppression for so long that they came and they got heavily influenced by the gangs that were around them. And sabes que gangs started to spring up. MOD, orale, TRG. Sabes que Oriental Ruthless Boys, you know what I mean? Viet Boys, orale, Asian Boys, stand up. All the different gangs, and then of course the Africanos, they've always been on the West Coast. Say, shit, orale, Soul Train, right? Keep it motherfucking popping, man. My brothers have been there, established in cities like Oakland, Richmond, Berkeley, the Bay Area. As far as South Central LA, you know what it is. Watts, stand up. The Watts riots led into the gang activity. There's just so much. The establishment of real big organizations like the Crips, the Bloods, have always played a heavy influence into the Africano community, and boom, there they are. So let's get orale, high top. You don't fucked up, right? Cancel Christmas. It's been going down like that. The culture is real. Okay, the culture has blended. I'm about to get to that right now, too. I'm going to trip everybody out with what I'm going to say next. Being very, very diverse, a lot of the different stilos have leaked into each other. You know what I mean? You guys didn't get that one, huh? Trip out. Why do you think you see Africano brothers cruising around lowrider cars? I'll hold. Dickies and Bands, homes, Cortezes and Chucks, sabes que blue paños and red paños. Come on now, I ain't gonna sit here and say the motherfucking Cholo establishment started that. I'm just gonna say, bro, it leaked off into the Africano community, and a lot of their stilos leaked off and are leaking off nowadays into the Raza community. Yes, sir. Now you got vatos wearing braids, saying the N-word, so I don't condone it, but they do, you know what I mean, wearing golds in their mouth. I ain't mad at them, you know what I mean? Doing what they does. Everybody wants to be a rapper, not a clapper, or a clapper and a rapper. Sometimes they blur the lines. Different cultural stilos, and nothing's wrong with any of them, have leaked into everybody's. It's very diverse, homes. There's a mix. There's groups like Nazi lowriders. Since when there was a Nazi that rode in a lowrider? Charlie Holmes, I'm just saying, a lot of these different groups, for being so diverse, for having so many different people, I'm on fire, right? I'm giving you guys some knowledge today. They've all intermingled. It's all become gelled together. That's why I don't get mad. I see an Africano brother in a lowrider. I'm like, oh, what is that? He says 6'2" on pow, it's a 6'2". I said, I see it, right? Shit, I'm Mexican. I ain't even got a 6'2". What's the bet? I got a 6'5", though. Super sport, dipping and dashing, steady be smashing. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Being a very diverse state makes California one of the most gang related, because you have a little bit of everyone, and everyone got that gangster attitude. Who started the movement of gangs? You know what I mean? We're not going to sit here and say we know, because we don't. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say it's fucking crazy out here, man. Right? Number 4. Heavy politics, very political within these groups, very political within each barrio, very political in every different neighborhood, right? Everybody has their own rules, regulations, and politics, right? And if you're adhering to them, homes, everything is good and fine and dandy, but guess what? No, there's a big, heavy criminal element that are very greedy, homie, that are just out for themselves, which fucks everything up. It's everything. You know the world went crazy, right? It fucks it all up in a menudo style in direct fashion, because everybody wants to be political. Everybody wants to be that one. Okay, whatever groups were founded in the 60s, 70s, they're there, homes. They'll never stop. They'll never change. The gangs in LA, they'll never die. Just right? They're there already, man. Stop trying to change and switch up. Stop trying to add shit. There's not enough room anymore. Califas is filled up. That's it. You know what I mean? Whatever is here. Stop adding on. But it's a repeat cycle. People will continue to do it. Heavy politics, man, plays very definitely into the state of California being as gang related as it is. Because people are more militant. People are more solid in their rules. People are more like, you know what, fuck that, homes. We got to do it this way. We got pride, homes. If we don't do it this way, we don't do it that way, we can come up short. And it's a dog-eat-dog world. So I'm not Fresno. Orale, shout out to Fresno, though. But it's a dog-eat-dog world. Everybody is trying to be on top. Everybody wants to be that one. Every barrio wants to be that one. Everybody has pride, so they want to be a little bit bigger and badder and meaner and rougher than everybody. So I was going, fuck, we appreciate that, man. We appreciate the hardcoreness of motherfuckers being about it in the state, but at the same time, it makes it dangerous for people like me, citizens, and kids and everyone else to walk the fucking calles without catching a hot one. Because hot ones echo through the ghetto. Orale. And most of California is a ghetto, you know, for those that know, now they know. Anyways, but heavy politics plays into it. And not only the politics from barrio to barrio, but the California politics as well. You know, being a very diverse state that's overpopulated with a lot of people, man, you're going to have a lot of different people with a lot of different mentalities, meaning a lot of different ideas. Okay? And our government plays a big part into keeping us incarcerated, keeping us fucking at bay, not really giving us the rundown of what's going on, man, switching up the laws on us constantly. You know, they're trying to maintain and contain us in the state of California because there's too many of us, there's way too many people, and so they're scared, right? And when they're scared, what do? So I was going to tell you what they do. Man, they start hitting it with some law after law after law, and it makes it rough for the motherfuckers that are just trying to do their thing, man. So people start getting cutthroatish, right? So let's get pinche gas is $6, $7. Let's get fuck that. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Pop, pop, pop. It's gang related. What? So I don't even gangbang. You do now. Now you're coming in. Now you're going to a system where you have to gangbang. Fuck. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to go that route. Well, guess what? You decided to go do something strange for a piece of change. I wasn't doing that. Nah, you decided to do something strange for a piece of change, and we're not going to hold, humps. Now you're going to prison. You're going to be gang related. Which leads me into number 5. Oh, yeah, number 5 is the one. A lot of prisons. Do you know that California has 35 plus prisons? I know nowadays we're fucking broker than Baby Joker, so they're trying to shut down the prisons. But at the end of the day, man, we have more prisons than a lot of different states, okay? And the prison population has grown. It has grown extensively over the years, okay? And with a heavy and big prison population, well, you already know what's going to happen in the state of California, man. It's going to be political. Oh, it's going to be, and you can say the theatricals, they'll mac on you, homie, because you appear to be mackable. They're not playing in prison. Vatos are going to get with your program, most definitely, right? And so in prison, what you have are groups, the foundations, the forefathers have set forth since the 60s, okay? The 60s is when it really got gang related. Prior to that, I don't know. I'm not a historian, so I get called Flaco from Real Time with Flaco, he'll tell you, right? Prior to that, there were just brown men, black men, and white men, right? And of course, sprinkling some of the my Asian brothers. And then my Native American indigenous brothers. You had them too, okay? But it wasn't necessarily a gang thing. It was more along the lines of a race thing, right? Everybody was proud of their people and stood by their people, so they didn't catch the palo on the late night. Because back then, them vatos were maniacos. I'm just saying, Grandpa, what the fuck were you doing, right? So you got a lot of explaining to do, ese. You know what I mean? You know, Jefito, you're probably pissed off. Okay, my brothers, bang, bang, right? You're good, Holmes. And me, shit, I was easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, Holmes. I was in that motherfucker just mobbing, you know what I mean? I was in that motherfucker mobbing, keeping it to myself, so doing my own program. You know what I mean? I let them do what they did. Now, trip out. When it comes to being a lot of prisons, that's a lot of different gente and they're fighting, man, striving, you know? And like I said, man, in the beginning, it was all about the racial lines. It was all about that, but it changed. It changed somewhere in the 60s, late 60s, when these groups and these gangs and these organizations started to form, man, for self-protection and whatever the case may be, whatever spin that they put on it or whatever fucking is truly historical than facts. Once these groups start to spring up, it became militant. It became structured, man. It became gang, super gang related. And California's politics and California's prison system changed. It turned upside down. It got very vicious and violent, even more violent than it's ever been. The 70s era and the 90s era, we're going to skip the 80s because the 80s, everybody was getting slammed down. But the 70s and the 90s was two of the most violent eras in prison. We're experiencing one of the most violent eras now with the integration. And you would think, and the hostility should be nonviolent. Oh, and it has been the last 10 years, not as violent as usual. Prison is prison. You're going to have vatos getting hit. But what it is nowadays with this trying to throw people together, it's about to be rocking, let's say rolling, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about a lot of pintas, right? A lot of prisons with a lot of different fucking mentalities, with a lot of different leaders and a lot of different followers. Soldiers, manpower. So that makes it very gang related. You got guys that go from the streets that were bankers. I said they weren't hitting nothing. They do a DUIs. That's good. They hit somebody. Hey, they succumb to their injuries. They catch a little 10-year bid for a manslaughter, right? Next thing you know, they get in there. Hey, where you from? I'm from San Diego, Holmes, but I'm not really, you know what I mean? I never gangbang. Get over here, bitch, right? You're a resident. A resident? What are you talking about? Yeah, Simon, I got my green card. No. You are now a resident. You are now part of a group. And you're going to rock, Holmes, till the wheels fall off, or we're going to rock you till your head falls off. Well, I guess we're going to have to do what we have to do. Let's go, right? You know what I mean? Vámonos a la verga. Vato has a fucking pico de gallo. He's ready to handle his business. Because that's just the way it is, man. There's a lot of politics that goes into prison. There being a lot of prison, there's a lot of people playing them. Okay? I'm not going to go deep into them. That was an example. I'm just saying this is one of the reasons California is such a gang-related state. You can go into prison not being a gang member and come out a fucking straight-up soldado, vato. Or you can go in there being a straight-up soldado and come out a straight-up chirujo. You just don't know what the day entails. ¿Sabes qué? It is what it is. The state of California, very diverse. Just, you know what I mean? Anybody can get it. Palo. They ain't playing, you know what I mean? Anyways, those are 5 of the top reasons California has so much gang activity, is so gang related. You know, a lot of other states, they're about that shit too. You got Texas, of course. You got Washington, man. We can take it to the East Coast. New York City, stand up Chicago. And every different political makeup and every different way the state wiggles and rocks is different. At the end, we're all human. We're all people. We all got that mind. It's all about chasing that bag, man, getting our issue and taking care of our own. You know that. I know that. We all know that. It's right. But in California, man, we wiggle different on the West Coast. We wiggle different, man. Ain't no one playing that shit, humps. Ain't no one playing that game. We got that motherfucking mentality. It's a very, very, very game-related stick. For those of you that want to come out here to Disneyland, you know, if you fucking go back with your Mickey ears con bullets, ain't nothing new. Be true to that shit. Not new to that shit, right? That's just the way it is. So 5 of the top reasons California is so gang-related. I hope I gave them to you. I hope I relayed them to you. I hope you soaked them. I hope you got that knowledge that you couldn't get in college that you got right here on Gunners Collective. And we're going to do it like that because we do it like that. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. You go out there, you take care of your family. So if you do come to fucking California, wear a vest. That's it. You know what I mean? Let's get bad out here. Plus it's hot. So to what degree of this, I can't call it. Anyways, if you like this, please hit that like and subscribe. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in, which is the unity of all raza. And as far as California goes, they'll shoot you out here. They're not playing. It's not a bad state, but sure it's dangerous. The gun. Bang, bang.